And maybe we can actually get started in honor of the people who are here. So I'd like for us to get started in a standing position today, just to have that reminder that we can also be perfectly mindful and at ease when we're standing and starting out in that way. So just find a position that allows you to have your feet right under your hips. And then standing in a way that invites you to be calm and peaceful and at ease, and yet at the same time alert and aware that you're in a standing posture. And just taking a moment to calm the mind in order to calm the body, and to calm the body in order to calm the mind. If it's comfortable, you can gently close your eyes, or maybe just gazing down on a spot if that's more comfortable. And at least in my body, I'm still noticing a little bit of swaying. I'm feeling the energy active. So when you tune inwards directly into the body, just notice what you feel. Maybe there's inner sounds. Maybe there's a sense of swirling energy. Maybe a little bit of vibrating or pressure in certain parts. And see if you can notice the temperature in the body. Does it feel more on the warm side, on the cool side? And just inviting that into your mindfulness practice. And we'll begin today by just doing a mini body scan to just become aware more fully of the different parts that make up our body. So we'll start at the crown of the head, just being aware of the crown of the head, moving down into the forehead, the eyebrows, with the sense that we're smoothing out the eyebrows, releasing any tension that might be there. Feeling down into the eyes, just noticing the closed eyelids, any colors you might perceive with closed eyes. Down into the nose. Is there a sense of smell that you notice? And then coming down into the mouth, just simply being aware of the teeth, the gums, the tongue, letting the tongue deeply relax onto the bottom of the mouth, the lips touching one another, the ears maybe picking up a certain sound. And then down into the neck and the jaw, just allowing and inviting the jaw to loosen a bit, releasing any tension that might have been stored there. Same as you move down into the shoulders, that's often a place where there's a lot of tightness and tension. And just imagining that your shoulders are melting from ice into water, and from water turning into gas, so changing into more lightness and less heaviness. Feeling down into the chest, in the front of the torso. This is also often a place where there's a lot of tightness. Just an invitation to feel the chest open and soft as best as possible. Down into the belly. Maybe taking 3 conscious breaths in and out of the belly as you soften your belly. Breathing in And breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. And one more time, softening into the belly as you breathe in, and relaxing as you breathe out. And then come into your back body, into your whole back, feeling the whole length of the spine. Feeling the spine fairly straight and yet relaxed. Moving down the arms, just being aware of the upper arms, the elbows, and the lower arms. And relaxing all the way into the hands. The hands are often a part of the body where it's more easy to perceive any sensations that might be going on. So maybe there's a tingling, a vibrating, or noticing a temperature in the hands. Just feeling the hands for a moment from the inside out. And then we'll switch attention into the hips, letting the hips be at ease as best as you can. Softening down the upper legs, noticing the knees, the lower legs, the calves and the shins relax. All the way down into the feet. And just feeling the soles of the feet, the connection with the yoga mat or the carpet or space beneath you. And imagining that you're standing firmly and solidly and tall on the earth like a big mountain. And just taking a few deeper breaths now in and out to bring more energy and awakening and aliveness throughout the whole body. So adding some movement through the breath now, some conscious deeper breaths. And you can even add a sound from the back of the throat to your breath so that the breath comes in and out, sort of sounding like the waves at the ocean. It adds a little bit of energy and a sense of awakening to the breath if you breathe in this way. And then you can keep your eyes closed as we come into the first movement, or you can open them, whatever is more comfortable. But we'll begin by simply shaking out the body. So you can keep your soles of the feet firmly grounded on the earth, but just begin to bounce from the knees and just feel your whole body moving, imagining that you're letting go of whatever might have gotten stuck or feels stale or heavy in the body. And maybe even bringing a slight smile to the face if that's comfortable, just to make this more of a joyful practice, an easeful practice. So you can be aware of your feet again as we move up this time and continue shaking out the lower legs, the knees, the upper legs, the left hip, right hip, shaking out the lower back, the mid back, the upper back, left shoulder, right shoulder, shaking out the belly, the ribs and the side body, and the chest and belly. And then bring your hands in front of your body and vigorously shake out your hands and all the fingers. Maybe turning the wrists around in either direction a couple of times. And then bringing your hands back to the side body and vigorously shaking out the lower arms, the elbows, upper arms. Moving your neck around a few times in a way that feels good to your body. And then maybe opening and closing the jaw a few times, the mouth, kind of like a carp opening and closing, just to release any tension there. Maybe opening and closing the eyes a few times, releasing tension there. And then we'll just shake out the whole body for another 20 seconds or so, maybe going a little bit more vigorously to really let go of tension. Maybe a sound wants to be released if that feels right. Maybe the arms overhead just to add a little bit of more dramatic movement. And then your own way, let your body just end the shaking and come back to stillness. Coming back to just standing on the earth, on your mat. And you may, as you close your eyes, really feel the aliveness now in the body that's present compared to when you first started standing here before the shaking. Really letting yourself experience this aliveness from the inside out. Noticing the quality of the breath, if it's deep or full or more shallow, if it feels smooth or rough. Just noticing your experience in this moment. And then as you open your eyes if they were closed, you can find just a little bit of a wider stance. And then we just begin to twist from side to side. So one hand will always touch into the middle of the chest and the other will go behind. And you can do that quite vigorously just to really begin to move your spine from side to side, coming into a twist either side of the body. If it doesn't feel right for any reason, moving fast, of course, by all means, just move more slowly. You know, waking up the spine in whatever way feels good to you in this moment. And we'll just let ourselves come into this natural rhythm of moving from side to side. If you want to close your eyes again to experience this movement from the inside out, I encourage you to do so. And again, if that doesn't feel comfortable, by all means, let your eyes stay open. Maybe if they're open, you can follow the eyesight all the way to the arm behind you as it's twisting from side to side at a little eye stretch. And we'll just keep going a little bit longer, going at your own pace that feels perfectly comfortable to you. Maybe another 20 seconds or so. Just staying connected to the movement in the body. And then again, in your own way, let your body come back into stillness, facing forward. And just noticing the vibration inside the body created through the movement. The sense of energy in the body developed through the practice. Letting your shoulders relax again, your eyes and facial muscles be soft. And we'll bring our feet about hip width apart again. So bringing them together a little bit again and have our hands at the heart. And we'll do another spinal exercise, which is really energizing for the whole body. So on an in-breath, we're going to stretch the arms up overhead and even come into a slight back bend by pushing the hips forward. And then as you exhale, fold forward over the legs. If your fingertips can touch the ground, great. If your head can just relax forward, great. Inhaling back up and then exhaling back down. And we will go again at a pretty vigorous pace, but a pace that allows you to be connected, stay connected with your breath. So you might even add a little bit of a fire breath, so breathing in with sound and exhaling with sound. Only if that's comfortable. So you create more energy and heat in the body in that way by adding the fire breath. We'll keep going a little while longer. If you feel comfortable with that, you can even pick up the pace a little bit or keep going at the pace that you started. Couple more. And then inhaling up, bringing the arms up, placing the hands, pointer fingers stretch up. Hold the breath in. Hold, 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 hold. Hold the breath. And then exhale slowly, very slowly releasing the arms out to the side. Very slowly so that you can really feel the movement as the arms are gently coming back down. Excellent. And again, take a moment again to feel the energy inside the body that's been created through the movement. And we'll do one more breath, adding the fire breath to the movement on this cooler day. So I know you've probably practiced this before, but we're going to make a fist, except for the thumbs are outside. We're going to have the hands sort of on the outside of the shoulders. And then with each in-breath, we're going to stretch the arms up, really spread the fingertips wide. And as you exhale, make the fist again and come back down. So we'll add the fire breath and then do it as fast as you can, as fast as it feels comfortable. Really building the energy in the body through this upper body movement that really opens the lungs and the heart center. Maybe going a little bit faster the last few rounds. Maybe even a little faster yet. Inhale, make fist by the belly. Hold the breath in. Hold, 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 hold. Tighten your whole body. Tighten your face. Tighten all the muscles as you hold the breath in. And then exhale, release. Come back into your standing posture with the palms facing forward and just feel again. Notice the vibration, whatever sensations inside the body. And just remind yourself that whatever is happening inside the body, it's just an energy, it's just a sensation. It's never here to stay. It's always going to change again. Again and again throughout our lives. Nothing ever stays permanently. And just maybe even taking a moment to notice how it's already changing as the body is calming once again after the movement. And then relax your arms, bring your feet wider apart on the mat. So you're not completely locking the knees, but a pretty wide stance on the mat with the toes facing forward. You're going to come into a side stretch to open the lungs a little bit more for the practice today. So breathe your arms out to the side as best as you can. Really take a moment to draw the shoulder blades together and back. And then as you exhale, reach your left fingertips forward as best as you can, and then let your arms come to the outside of the outer left leg, but not quite having the hands touch. And then just really stretching your right arm up into the sky with the palm facing away from the body. You can gaze up to your right fingertips if that's comfortable for your neck. If not, just let the left ear relax down to the left shoulder and really breathing here into the right side of the body, a big opening stretch for the lungs and the heart. Imagining how with the in-breath, you're breathing all the way up into the right fingertips. And then as you exhale, lifting that arm just a little bit higher to deepen into the stretch. And then just come to a space, a place of stillness in the side stretch. Taking a few nourishing breaths in and out. Filling the lungs, filling the heart with life breath. One more deep in breath. And then as you exhale, bring the torso back up and the arms out to the side again for a moment. And then as you exhale, very slowly again, just releasing the arms down. Feeling the movement bit by bit as the arms slowly descend. So precious to really be aware, to really be present to the body, to the mind, to the heart, to the breath. And then we're going to inhale the arms out to the side again. As you exhale, guide your fingertips on your right side away from the body. Let your body lean over to the right. And then when you can't stretch any further away, just let the right arm come to the outside of the right leg, hovering there in front of the leg as you stretch your left arm up into the sky with the palm facing away from the body. See if you can really relax your right ear down to the shoulder, relax the hips, relax the eyes and facial muscles, and just infusing the stretch now with your breath. Each breath long and deep, experiencing it as a nourishing breath that really opens that left side body for you. We'll take 3 more deep breaths here. One more inhale. And then on the exhale, the arms out to the side again. We're going to release the arms down slowly. And then bring the palms of the hands into your lower back. Draw your elbows together in back of you as much as you can so that you really feel that openness at the heart center. Lift your gaze and your neck up towards the sky if that feels comfortable. And really shift your hips forward here so you're coming into a deeper back bend. The head facing upwards towards the ceiling, relaxing the head back as if you're relaxing it into a soft pillow. Breathing your 3-part yogic breaths from the belly to the ribs, all the way up into the chest on the inhale. And then exhaling chest, ribs, belly. A few more breaths here, really feeling that openness at the heart, at the lungs. And then as you exhale, bring your torso back to the starting position. Let your hands relax on the side of the body and then let them slowly slide down the legs so that you're eventually coming into a forward fold. Keep your hands sliding down outside of the legs. And then just gently releasing the head along with the front torso, with the torso maybe holding on to the ankles, or maybe just wrapping your 2 fingers around your big toe to deepen the stretch, relaxing your head all the way down here. And just breathing up and down the spine. Feeling on the in-breath as if your breath travels up an elevator. And then exhale, the elevator descends back down. And then we'll walk our right hand all the way over to meet the left. And then you can just place your right fingertips along the inside of your left foot. And then stretch your left arm up into the sky, coming into a standing twist. Really opening that shoulder blade behind you to the back space as much as you can. Your gaze can be up towards the fingertips or down towards your left foot. Whatever really feels good on your neck, just really infusing the breath here with your side stretch, with your twist. Deep and full breaths. One more deep in breath. And then exhale, slowly release your left arm back down. Walk your hands all the way over to your right foot. And then you can place your left fingertips inside of your right foot and then stretch your right arm up into the sky, the same way as we did on the other side. Keeping your soles of the feet firmly planted down into the mat. And then really stretching those right fingertips up, and that right shoulder blade draws open to the space behind you. Powerful breaths here into the stretch. One more last in breath. And then exhale, release the arm again. Walk both hands right under your heart center on the mat. And then begin to walk your hands forward. So we're coming kind of into a wide-legged downward facing dog. So really moving your hands forward so that your whole spine can stretch. Having your hands about shoulder width apart. And then really press into your hands here and draw your ribs, your hips back behind you, sitting the hips up high, relaxing the head. Make sure that the weight is evenly distributed on the hands and on the feet as well. And then just noticing how much you may be able to relax the shoulders in this pose, so that you feel the shoulder blades drawing together a bit more in back of you. Releasing any tensions from the face, from the eyes. Just breathing here now, enjoying this full body stretch. And then one more in breath and out breath, please. As you're ready, you can walk your hands back in towards the body. Place your palms into the lower back the way we started a little while ago. And then gently bring your torso back up to standing. Moving slowly and deliberately. You can scoot your feet back together so that they're right under the hips once again. And again, an invitation just to close your eyes for a little while to feel all the ways that your body has been stretched. To just notice what's happening right now inside the body. Just allowing a little while for the breath to come back to its natural rhythm. When you're ready, if your eyes were closed, you can open them again. Just slightly moving the feet a little bit wider apart, just a tiny bit. You're going to come into a chair pose from here. So we're going to begin by lifting the arms up overhead, just relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the hands. The hands are spread apart, and then begin to bend into your knees quite deeply, lowering your buttocks down, imagining that you can sit down into a stool behind you, and then just maybe shifting the arms forward a little bit, just the slightest bit, sinking down deeper into the stool behind you. And we'll be here for quite a while, so see if you can, even as it gets more challenging, stay comfortable in your chair pose, keeping your knees together as if there's a yoga block in between the knees to protect the knees. And then infusing the stretch with your breath. See if you can smooth out any tension that you might perceive in the breath. And just lengthening the breath so that you can really soothe your nervous system, even in the more challenging stretches. Feeling the breath long and relaxed as best as possible. Maybe sinking down even a little bit more deeply if you can. And then we'll stay in chair, but bring the hands together at the heart center. Take a deep breath in, feeling the heart opening, and then twisting over your right leg. So you're going to release your left arm on top of your right thigh, and then stretch your right elbow up towards the sky. The hands are pressing together. So coming into a twist with the chair pose now, keeping your feet firmly grounded on the mat. Taking a few deeper breaths here. You might feel your heat building in the body. Just still breathing. Breathing into the stretch. Inhale back to center. Maybe just coming up to standing for a moment to take a little breather. Just for a couple of breaths. Soothing the nervous system again. And then take one more long in-breath here. As you exhale, twist in the same way over to the other side. Making sure that your feet stay facing forward and that you still keep a nice deep bend in your knees, stretching your left elbow up towards the sky, facing that way rather. And keep pressing your hands together. Each in-breath, you can feel your lungs and your heart opening and expanding. And as you exhale, imagine that you're just squeezing that belly button into the spine so that you can really wring out any tension and toxins from the spine in this spinal twist. A couple more breaths here. And then inhaling back to center, come back up to standing. Take an exhale here, relaxing the shoulders. Inhale, we'll reach the arms up. And then exhale, guided by the heart center, we'll just come into a forward fold over our feet, over our legs, and just relaxing all the muscles in the upper body. Feeling the weight evenly distributed on the feet and just releasing the chin and the head all the way down. Noticing the rhythm of the breath in this forward fold. Still deep and full breaths. And then then slightly bend into your knees so you can very slowly curl up the spine again to come back into a standing posture, vertebra by vertebra, slowly coming back up. And just have your palms facing forward from a moment. We're going to move into a squat pose from here, so really stretching out the hips in this particular pose. I'm going to lower my screen a little bit so you can still see me. So we're going to widen our stance just a bit, kind of like in a goddess pose with the feet facing out, so facing out sideways. We're going to bring our hands onto the heart center, and then again, deeply bending into the knees. That's the first step. And then if you want to come a little bit into a forward fold so that you can place the elbows to the inside of your knees, and then really stretching the hips open with your elbows as you come to sit down into a squat, if you can, as best as you can. Just go as far as you can without moving beyond the edge where you're moving into an area of pain. If you're feeling that stretch nicely, stretching yourself to your own edge, see if you can lift your heart center a little bit here. If the eyes are closed, maybe even adding a half smile to your face to signal to your facial muscles that they can relax even in this deeper, more challenging pose. And just a few more breaths here, really enjoying how the hips are being stretched open. Relaxing the hips down as best as you can, relaxing any tension from the buttocks. 2 more breaths. And then lean forward, place your hands on the mat, shift your weight forward so that you can come onto your hands and knees from here. And just taking a moment to set your knees under the hips and your hands right under the shoulders. Take a moment just to sway your hips from side to side to release any tension that might have built there. And then place your hands just 1 more hand length forward in front of you, still on the mat. And then we're gonna curl the toes under and back, and then just come up into a downward facing dog to stretch out our whole body. Pressing the hands down into the mat, lengthening the hips, releasing the heart center, and even drawing the heels down more towards the floor. We'll just take a few breaths here in a still pose and downward dog. Maybe just allowing the head to sway from side to side. And then on the next in-breath, reach your right leg up behind you as far as you can. And then as you exhale, bring the right knee forward to almost be able to touch the right wrist. Inhale, stretch that leg back up, big opening. Exhale, draw the knee in towards the wrist. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale, moving forward. We're going to do that a couple more times. Inhale, reach the leg up. Exhale, forward. Last time, inhale, up. And then exhale, this time as you draw your right knee forward, place it right in front of your right hand. Stretch your left leg back, and for a moment, keep your left leg off the ground so you're on tippy toes. Come onto your fingertips and place them either side of the front knee. Keep your left leg off the ground and just feeling that stretch down the left leg. Feeling that openness at the heart center. Maybe even lifting the gaze. Breathing into the stretch. Imagining that your breath is traveling all the way down your left leg, And then we're going to look for a moment over the right shoulder, coming into a little mini twist. And then over the left shoulder. And then relax your left leg down onto the ground. Take one more deep in-breath here. Maybe see if you can even bring the fingertips off the earth and draw your arms back into the space in back of you. Really opening the heart center here. Breathing deeply and fully. And then as you exhale, just release into a forward fold, coming into a pigeon pose. So you can make a cushion with your forearms and then just release your head onto the forearms, or stretch the legs, rather the arms all the way out in front of you as you come into your pigeon pose. Wherever you are, let your attention draw inwards now, into your own being, into your own body. Maybe a gentle awareness at the heart center. And at the heart, we often become aware of what feelings might be present here. And rather than having to name them as sad or grief or happy or joy, just be aware for a moment, is whatever is present feeling pleasant, unpleasant, or rather neutral? So just naming a feeling as pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And acknowledging again that whatever is present is very likely going to shift once again in a few breaths if you stay really present to it. And that's really the truth with all of our feelings, with all of our sensations, with all our body experiences or mind experiences. Everything just is in constant flux. Never stays the same. And then with your next in-breath, direct your body back up into your hands and knees, table posture. Make sure that your hands are placed again right under the shoulders. Curl your toes under when you're ready. Maybe place your hands one hand length in front of you on the mat before you start your downward dog. So on the exhale, you can lift your hips up to come back into the downward dog position. And just enjoying this full body stretch for a few rounds of breaths. Really stretching your hands forward away from the body so that the arms can lengthen. Drawing your shoulder blades together and back as if you're squeezing an orange there in the back, in the middle of the shoulders. Having your legs strong, heels pressing down. And then when you're ready on the in-breath, stretch your left leg back behind you, up high as best as you can. And then as you exhale, bring your left knee right in front of your left wrist. Inhale, stretch the leg back up high into the air. Exhale, slowly forward. And again, inhale up. Exhale, forward. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhaling up. Exhale, come forward. Last time, inhale up. And then this tail, as you exhale again, place your left knee right in front of your left hand. Stretch your right leg back this time, standing on tippy toes so that the leg is still off the ground. And place your hands right outside of your left knee, either side of the knee. Again, keeping your right leg up. Just the toes are stretching into the ground. And really draw your arms back here. Draw your heart center open, your shoulders back. Lifting your gaze if that's comfortable on your neck. And just breathing here into this deep stretch. Turning your head over to the left for a couple breaths. And then over to the right. Coming back to center. You can relax your right leg down now, uncurling the toes. And if you're able to bring your hands off the ground and really draw the hands and arms into the space behind you, opening and lifting your heart here. Deep hip opener. Take one more deep breath. And then as you exhale, come into your sleeping swan pose. So again, take the same hand position as you did on the other side, maybe making a pillow with your forearms and resting your forehead down, or stretching the arms all the way forward, resting your forehead on the yoga mat. Wherever you are, just be aware of the aliveness inside the body, the breath as movement, any tingling or swirling you might be perceiving, the temperature. Just being present with a loving attention to your body, to your mind, to your heart. And then on your next in-breath, gently lift your torso back up. Place your hand either side of the front knee, curl your back toes under, and we're gonna come into our last downward facing dog of the day, just allowing the whole body to stretch out on the mat one more time, maybe swaying the hips from side to side this time. Maybe shifting the weight forward over the wrists for a moment and then back up. Just finding some movement here in your last downward dog before we come down onto the mat. Moving in whatever way feels right to you in your down dog. Coming into your own little dance, downward dog dance. And then we're gonna set the knees down. Set the buttocks down onto the heels and just come into a fetal position with the arms and back, front of the hands placed down into the mat, and just release your forehead into the earth, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the whole body, and just feeling the breath moving in and out. Nothing to do or undo in this position, just feeling the breath. And giving yourself permission to more fully relax in this posture. And then as you bring your torso back up with your next in-breath, you can sit your buttocks down to one side, and then we're gonna just stretch the legs forward, actually keeping a bend in the knees so that the feet can be placed on the ground ahead of the knees. And then we're gonna place the hands maybe one hand length away from the buttocks behind us with the fingertips pointing forward. So take a moment here to draw the shoulder blades in together and back, draw the elbows together, or more closer together rather. And then draw your attention into the soles of the feet and the palms of your hands. We're gonna come up into a reverse table posture from here. So we'll begin just by really pressing down into the feet, pressing down into the hands. And then when you feel ready, lift your hips off the ground all the way up, the buttocks to the height of the knees, pressing firmly into the hands. You can gaze forward or let your head just fall back as if you're relaxing into a pillow behind you. Keep pressing into your feet, into your hands. And we're going to be here for 5, 4, 3, 1. And then as slowly as you can, relax your hips and your buttocks back down onto the earth. When you get here, stretch your legs out on the mat. Reach your arms up on an in-breath, gazing up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, come into a forward fold over the legs so the palms can relax down either side of the lower legs or the knees, wherever they fall. Let your head completely relax forward so that you're gazing in towards the heart center with closed eyes. And just enjoying the movement of the breath as you're turning your attention inwards in this forward fold. You can keep your feet flexed in towards the body and just relax all the rest of it. Just relaxing in this forward fold with each breath. Couple more breaths here. And then on an inhale, bring the torso back up, stretch your arms up. And then again, as slowly as possible, curling the spine and sit yourself down so that you're lying on your back, but engaging the belly muscles here as you very slowly come down onto your mat, vertebra by vertebra. And when you've reached your destination, you can hug the knees into the chest and then gently rock from side to side. Just enjoying that lower back massage for a moment. And then you're gonna place your hands in front of your left leg and stretch the right leg all the way out with the toes flexing in. Just feeling that stretch for a moment as you guide your left knee in just a little bit more towards the heart center, relaxing the shoulders, breathing. And then keep your right hand where it is and just relax your left arm down onto the floor beside you. Take a nice deep in-breath here. And then as you exhale, guide your left leg over to the right side, turning your hips that way, making sure that your right shoulder blade can stay connected to the earth. And if it feels good, turn your head over to the left as you come into this final twist of the day. And maybe taking the deepest breath of your practice so far. As you inhale, bring everything back to center. Hug both knees into your chest. And then we're just going to lace our hands in front of the right knee and stretch the left leg all the way out. Flexing the left toes in towards the body. And beginning again here by just gently guiding that right knee in closer towards the body, towards the heart. Keeping the shoulders relaxed as you do that. And as you keep your left hand in the same position, release your right arm out onto the floor beside you. Take a deep in-breath. And then as you exhale, draw your right leg over to the left, turning your hips that way, but making sure that your right shoulder blade can stay connected to the earth beneath. And if you did so on the other side, turning your head over to the right. Just enjoying a few more breaths here in silence. Inhaling back to center, hugging the knees into the chest. One final time, maybe a last rock from side to side. And then when you feel ready, relaxing into your final resting pose, whatever that looks like for you today. It can be lying down, it can be seated, even standing up. Just listening to your body to see what it needs in this moment. And coming to a place of deep rest, of deep stillness, as you're taking your final resting pose. Maybe a mini body scan from head to toe, just encouraging all the different parts of the body to relax, to release any final tension. Just resting. Just gently being present to the body, to the breath. Everything in its natural rhythm unfolding as you deeply relax on the earth. Just place your hands over your heart center in the middle of the chest for a moment. And just becoming aware of what's present here in this moment, how you feel. And you may silently say these words to yourself if it feels right. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be peaceful. May I be safe. And then you can bring your hands to rest again and just beginning to wiggle the hands and the toes. Maybe stretching the arms up overhead, releasing them down below, behind you, coming into a full body stretch. And then please hug your knees into the chest one final time, rocking from side to side. As you come back to the center, rubbing your hands together, rubbing your feet together swiftly to begin to bring fresh energy into the body after this time of rest. And then just come over to one side into a fetal position. Taking another moment just to turn inwards into your own being. Just noticing how you feel. As you feel ready, you can place one hand onto the ground to bring yourself up to a seated position for our final pose together. And if the eyes still want to be closed, that's great. Just bring your hands together at the heart center, feeling the backs of the thumbs slightly pressing in towards the middle of the chest. And just acknowledging the people who have practiced together today, acknowledging your spirit that moves you to come to class every time. So thank you for your practice today. I wish you a very nourishing and wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much for your practice. Namaste.